Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa
Alhamdulillah wa kafa wa salatu wa salam ala al-Mustafa wa alihi wa sahbihi wa man ittaqa. Okay, we're still in Surah Al-A'raf. I think we've gotten kind of used to the tone in Surah Al-A'raf. Everybody, how you feeling with regards to this surah? What do you know about it? Come on, articulate what you know. I want you to go beyond just reading it. Okay? What do you know about the surah? What do you say?
Just tell a lot about Kufar and Muslims not following behind them.
Okay? So it shows that the contrast, right? There's two sides. This one of some of the ulama, when they talk about this, they talk about the ongoing battle between truth and falsehood, between the people who are striving to be, we used to, growing up in New York, we used to say, hey, I'm righteous. We used to use that term. I know it's pretty much not just New York, but it became a thing, being righteous. Actually, that's what being Hanif is. Okay? If somebody wants to know, how would you translate Hanif or Hunafa? It would be to be righteous. What does that mean, though? It means that you try to do what's right. You're striving to do externally and internally what is right. Does that make sense? Okay, so there's a group of people who are striving to be righteous. And there's a group of people that are doing more than one thing, that are trying to stop them, okay, from being righteous and trying to promote evil. I don't like to use the word evil, mischief, following your own way, anything opposing Allah and the Sunnah of His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it seems that this second group is hating on the first group. Trying to do everything they can to, subjugate them in that regard. And this story here, the whole surah, I should say, is talking about what level of commitment we are supposed to have towards the truth. And that a passive stance is not acceptable. Now I'm saying that and you probably haven't seen it fully clearly like I've been saying. But look what we've seen so far. Allah tells us in the beginning about His Lordship, and He reminds us that He's been warning us about the coming of the day and us being committed to Allah. Then He gives us the story about Adam and Shaitan, more details about the story. Why Shaitan hates us even more. What actually happened. How he tricked us by using food, tricking us to eat food that alters our nature, that causes us to act with an obscene fashion and to lose our moral makeup, our moral foundation, which is the word he uses is fahisha or fawahish. And fahisha is a general, comprehensive term that anything that leads ultimately to zina, anything that leads to zina ultimately. So it's to do anything inappropriate in that realm, whether it's thought, whether it's talk, whether it's actions with the body, whether it is, anything in those regards. Okay? So then after that, we came to the point where he started telling us did we get to the part where we went to the stories yet? Of the different prophets? Well, that's where we're at now. Then we went to the Ya Bani Adams, O sons of Adam. We went through that particular section, right? And now we're where we're at right here today. Now let's start and pick it up again. What page are we on?
156.
156, 156.
Okay. No, we're on 157.
157.
On top of the page, right?
Yeah.
I just want to make a mention. I'm myself and Abu Khalil Silvestri. We are the main two teachers at Timbuktu. I do the Quran side, he does the Hadith side. If you're not familiar with Abu Khalil directly, you are connected to him indirectly. You see the translation of Ibn Kathir in English by Dar es Salaam, the 10-volume set? He is the one that put every hadith in that book, and he is the one that made the language flow like it was one person, even though there were many translators. If you see Sahih Muslim in English, At-Tirmidhi, Ibn Majah, all those books, the 6 books of the Sunnah, except for the one that's Al-Bukhari, all the others in English, he is the one that either translated all the hadith or was the final editor. You see those books as final editor, final review, Abu Khalil Sylvester. He's an American muhaddith and has put a lot of work into the science of hadith. Alhamdulillah. Together we make up Timbuktu. His wife just passed, okay, and suddenly, and today he's, washing and well, he was doing it a little bit early, right before we came over here, and dealing with their 7 children. Alhamdulillah. So I'm asking everybody to be mindful and make dua for the Shaikh, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, and put the good dua for him and his family. They be patient with the challenge that they're facing. Alhamdulillah. We're on ayah 52. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. After getting off the section dealing with the people on the A'raf, on the high grounds, Allah says, وَلَقَدْ جِئْنَاهُمْ بِكِتَابٍ فَصَّلْنَاهُ عَلَى عِلْمٍ هُدًى وَرَحْمَةً لِقَوْمٍ يُؤْمِنُونَ. And without doubt, I have come to you all with a book, and I have explained it down. Fasalna is not only explained it, but made it definitive, meaning clearly the argument stops, and brought it down piece by piece. So that the argument can't hit you, overwhelm you, but piece by piece you get the message. With knowledge, it's a guidance and a mercy for people who believe, showing that this book is only going to benefit those people who believe. What do they believe? They believe in Allah. They believe in one Allah, and they believe that there's going to be an accountability on the Yawm al-Qiyamah. They believe that this book is from Allah. They believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in control of the qadr, the decree, and the design. And so those things we like and those things that we don't like. We believe in the angels. So when we believe in those things, this book will benefit you. هَلْ يَنظُرُونَ إِلَّا تَأْوِيلَهُ يَوْمَ يَأْتِي تَأْوِيلُهُ يَقُولُ الَّذِينَ نَسُوهُ مِن قَبْلُ قَدْ جَاءَتْ رُسُلُ رَبِّنَا بِالْحَقِّ فَهَلْ لَنَا مِن شُفَعَاءَ فَيَشْفَعُوا لَنَا أَوْ نُرَدُّ فَنَعْمَلَ غَيْرَ الَّذِي كُنَّا نَعْمَلُ قَدْ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَضَلَّ عَنْهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يَفْتَرُونَ. Are they waiting for anything else besides the reality of these ayat to take place? Meaning, what are the people waiting on to apply this knowledge, this guidance? Don't think about a kafir, think about you. Because too many times we project when we do these classes. We're talking about you. What are we waiting for? But here the ayah is general and referring to the kuffar. What are they waiting for? Are they waiting for the ta'wil? What's the ta'wil? That Allah comes down. And the angels and the things that He promised and threatened us with. Are we waiting for that to happen before we act on this knowledge? Yawma yati ta'wil. When the realities of these ayat actually come. The people who forgot to apply it, nasuhu. That shows it is not just the kafir people. Those people who forgot about it, they were unmindful of it. Oh yeah, I knew that. I forgot to apply that. From before, they're going to say, the messengers have come from our Lord have come with the truth. But is there anybody now that's going to intercede on our behalf and intercede and intercede for us? Or is there any way that we can go back? Yeah, I know I was a believer. Just send me back so I can do something different from what I did before. This is what it says. فَنَعْمَلَ غَيْرَ الَّذِي كُنَّا نَعْمَلُ. So I can act differently from what I used to do. I know better. I knew better. Just give me some more time. Let me prove it. No. Allah started this section telling us that every ummah has a particular time. Once that time's up, you get no more time. قَدْ خَسِرُوا. Again, this word خَسِرَ وَخُسْرَانًا. They have lost their souls and has gone astray from them the things that they were inventing and fabricating, because they don't exist, right? Lies no longer exist. إِنَّ رَبَّكُمُ اللَّهُ الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ فِي سِتَّةِ أَيَّامٍ ثُمَّ اسْتَوَى عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. The fact of the matter is that your Lord is Allah, the one who created the universe and the earth in 6 days. Then he rose above his glorious throne. يُغْشِي اللَّيْلَ النَّهَارَ يَطْلُبُهُ حَثِيثًا. He covers the day with the night. He uses the night to cover the day. And if we look at, again, when these ayat come, note that there is always scientific proof in these ayat. Why is Allah giving us that? He's making us understand now why we owe an indebtedness, our dedication to Allah, to be devoted to Him. Your Lord is Allah. Haven't I been providing for you? Am I not the one taking care of you? Your Lord is Allah. That's what Lord means. The one who provides, protects, and takes care, manages all your affairs. How? He created the universe you live in. He created the world you have in 6 days. And he rose above his throne. He makes the night cover the day. Yughshi. Like a blanket. And if we see at Maghrib time, if you stay and look out, the night comes like a blanket over the day and covers it up. يَطْلُبُهُ حَثِيثًا. It covers, goes after it, seeking it fast. وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ وَالنُّجُومَ مُسَخَّرَاتٌ بِأَمْرِهِ. And the stars, the sun and the moon are subservient to man. Subservient to the command of Allah, but we use them in our service. How? Don't we use the sun to tell time? Just one of the things that we use it for. Don't we use the moon to count the month, the moon cycle? That's what a month is. The sun to count a day. The stars to travel with. So they're serving us. We're not serving any purpose for them. Allah asks a question for our intellect. أَلَا لَهُ الْخَلْقُ وَالْأَمْرُ تَبَارَكَ اللَّهُ رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. In the study of Aqidah, when we first, back in the 90s, when we were studying Aqidah, they would use this ayah. Not this whole ayah, just this piece of ayah. أَلَا لَهُ الْخَلْقُ وَالْأَمْرُ. And I didn't understand it out of context. What does that mean? What do you mean? The creation and the order. But when you put the ayah, and this is why you find most of the senior mufassirun, scholars of Tafseer, they always pay attention to siyaq, meaning sequential order, context, if you want to call it. Okay, it's a better word. The context of the ayah. What are we talking about here? Allah is saying He created the universe and everything. He put it in and designed it to work a certain way. Doesn't it not belong to Him, the creation? Meaning, isn't it His to do whatever He wants with? And the order, doesn't have the authority to do whatever He wants? So what you worrying about what He doing? Who are you challenging Him when He commands you? Do we understand what I'm saying here? Why are we looking at His creation like we have some say about it, or anyone else has any say? Tabarakallah. Glorified and blessed is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of everything. So after He explains that to us, now He gives us an order. What do we do with that thought, that aqidah, right? If you believe that, now here's an action for you. What is it? Aqidah, then what? Ibadah. Udu'u rabbakum tadarru'an wa khufyah. إِنَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. You see the ibadah coming next? What's the mukhul ibadah? What's the best part of ibadah? Dua. Dua is the best part of ibadah. And Allah tells you, from that understanding, now make your ibadah, your dua, call on your Lord. Tadarru'an wa khufya. That's your suluk. That's your attitude, right? That's where you move your mentality. Tadarru'an, with humility. Wa khufya, and a fear for Allah. Okay? Innahu la yuhibbul mu'tadeen. He does not like the people who are aggressive, passive aggressive. You ever talk to a young child or even a medium-aged child, and they show you this passive aggression, like you saying that, but I'm refusing. But I'm not going to say I'm refusing. You get that? Yata'adda. There's a type of aggression that the child is having, or even the person. They don't want to accept. Allah saying Allah don't love the people who have this type of refusal, this type of rebellion for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Walaikum salam. Allah tells us to do something and we act like we got a choice about it. Let me think about it. Let me think about it. وَلَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ بَعْدَ إِصْلَاحِهَا وَادْعُوهُ خَوْفًا وَطَمَعًا إِنَّ رَحْمَةَ اللَّهِ قَرِيبٌ مِّنَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. وَلَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. This is your mu'amalat. This is your everyday affairs, right? Don't go through the world causing corruption in your everyday affairs. It's general. After things have been made right. And remember, call on Allah, ta'qeed, call on Him out of fear and desire to get His blessings. Inna rahmatallahi qareebun min al-muhsinin. We learn another term here, al-muhsin. What is a muhsin?
Person who practices ihsan.
Someone who is conscious that Allah sees him at the very moment he is acting. And he's acting, and ta'bud Allah ka'annaka tarahu. But you know you can't see Allah. Why is it impossible to see Allah? Why is it impossible to ka'annaka tarahu, to act like you see Him? Because the mind has been created and designed in such a way it cannot picture anything it has never seen. You can only imagine what you have already seen and put together things that you have seen in ways that they may not be. But you cannot imagine something you have never seen. And Allah teaches us this when He tells you, you've never seen Jannah. Your mind has never come across the thing that you're going to see in Jannah. So even though you know you can't imagine seeing Allah, what is Allah? Know that Allah sees you. He sees you. So you act in that particular fashion. This is a muhsin. And it's the highest level of our iman. From a Muslim to a mu'min to a muhsin. So Allah is telling us for the muhsin, the mercy of Allah is close to that person who has that level of consciousness. وَهُوَ الَّذِي يُرْسِلُ الرِّيَاحَ بُشْرًا. In Welsh we say نُشُرًا بَيْنَ يَدَيْ رَحْمَتِهِ. And Allah is the one. And remember I said a lot of times we're going to find this word, وَهُوَ الَّذِي, and He is the one who. Clarifying our aqidah, describing Allah. Ayah 57. وَهُوَ الَّذِي يُرْسِلُ الرِّيَاحَ. He is the one that sends the cloud, the winds, bushran or nushran, spreading and giving the بَيْنَ يَدَيْ رَحْمَتِهِ, spreading rain, dropping seeds. This is what it does. حتى إذا أقلت سحابا ثقالا سقناه لبلد ميت فأنزلنا به الماء فأخرجنا به من كل الثمرات كذلك نخرج الموتى لعلكم تذكرون. And so to the point where it gets thick, the clouds get thick with rain, and they go to a land that is dead. A land that is dead doesn't have any vegetation to it. So it looks like it's dead. Suqnaha, we water it. And we send down from the sky water. And then we bring out from that land that looked dead, that was dead, thamarat, fruits. And like this, Allah gives life to the dead. so that perhaps we can be mindful of that. Meaning the things that look like nothing can come from it, what comes from it is lots of vegetation. We didn't plant none of this greenery that we see out here. We didn't come and give it any of the special seedings or the stuff they put in there. They tell you to buy at the store, fertilizer. We didn't do none of that. This stuff is growing better than the stuff we put fertilizer in, right? Quicker and stronger and before our very eyes. Allah did that so that we could be mindful of it. وَالْبَلَدُ الطَّيِّبُ يَخْرُجُ نَبَاتُهُ بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِ وَالَّذِي خَبُثَ لَا يَخْرُجُ إِلَّا نَكِدًا كَذَلِكَ نُصَرِّفُ الْآيَاتِ لِقَوْمٍ يَشْكُرُونَ. And a tayyib, a land that is tayyib, pure and wholesome, then even that land, the vegetation don't come out of that except by the permission of our Lord, Allah. And a land that is filthy, nothing's going to come out of that except more filth. More filth. This is the way we break down the ayat for people who can be grateful. So what is this teaching us? If it teaches us that what comes out of us, whatever good comes, is from Allah. And whatever evil comes is from ourselves. So we need to purify ourselves. And to do that is ask Allah's forgiveness and ask Him to accept our Taubah. And so He is the one yuzakkina. He is the one that purifies our hearts and allows us to accept the guidance. Allahumma skina min kulli ma yu'dhina min kulli aynin wa shaytan. Allahumma shfina. Laqad arsal. Now we're in a different part of the story now, guys. Now this surah takes on another tone. Now remember, this is the first time these prophets are going to be named in the book with their stories, or something from their story. Not the first time they're named, but the first time something of their story is named. I'm not going to tell you all the stories. Why? Because the stories come in other places of the Quran in more detail. And I believe that in the way if we run it the way Allah left the Quran, we benefit from the way He left the message. The point and the angle of the story is to benefit the surah, right? To teach us what the theme of that surah is. And so if we give too much of the story outside of the context that was intended, you lose sight of that. Does that make sense? Okay. I will mention some things that are necessary about the story to understand it, inshallah. Yes.
So, with that being said, that saying that the Quran, like you mentioned, is sequential order, that what's coming now, what's coming later is a purpose for, meaning it's an order.
What's your question?
Is that what you're saying when you say sequential order?
Yes, what I'm saying now, I'm gonna rephrase your question. Are you asking me, am I stopping because the sequential order is important?
Yes.
Yes, the message is in the sequential order. It's like anybody who formulates a conversation, you think about what you're going to say first, second, third, and last, right? You're very organized in your speech. Allah is more organized than that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intended us to read this Quran in this order. And the things that He wanted to say to us, He said, Sadaqallah. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ حَدِيثًا. Who can speak better than that? So, for the purpose of allowing us to be shocked and awed and amazed, that I want to leave it in the way that it's there. Of course, the Prophet ﷺ explained certain things at certain times. Here, I'm only going to mention those things that are here and what is necessary to understand the story, because the theme of the story is tied into, the theme of the surah is tied into understanding the story the way it was laid out in that surah. And then when we go further, then we can explain more, like we did with the story of Iblis. Okay? And this is the problem sometimes when we study tafsir as laymen. We read things and we go through it, and we like with Surah Al-Kawthar, we go so much into Surah Al-Kawthar mentioning that Al-Kawthar is a hawd, what's a hawd in English? Like a pond, right? Or a river in Jannah, right? And we've lost total understanding of what the surah is about, though. Do you get the point?
Yeah.
The surah being about sincerity and about, solving the problem of ma'un, right? Sincerity for Allah and then making mutaba'a for Rasulillah. Because we focus on that part of the tafsir. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
So the purpose of Allah is telling us, يَتَدَبَّرُ الْقُرْآنِ, contemplate the Quran, the meanings of the surah, for what we're supposed to take away from it. Yes, the tafsir helps in that, but it's not the end result. Does that make sense? And this is why tafsir keeps going. There are 7 steps that the mufassir takes in explaining the Quran. First, of course, is the language, the words, the strange words, okay? Then is the nahwu wa sarf, okay? Then is the balagh, which is the grammar and the etymology of the breakdown of that particular phrase, okay? Then the balagha, the eloquence of the particular lines. Then we call ahliya, meaning understanding and applying the sharia. What is the fiqh rule that's there that we do it? What is the usul fiqh rule? What is marjuh and rajih? You get my point? In this regard, what's going on? Siyaq, okay? The context that we're coming in, right? Then what is this ayah or this subject, Yahamakumullah? Is it being applied or not applied? Okay? Are we doing now? This 6th point is error important. That's why each mufassir goes to his people, his time, and breaks the Quran down for them. You get it? Because now is this rule, are we applying this rule for us? And this is important for this surah because this surah lays it out that way. Note, from this I'm jumping ahead to show you something because I want you to look for it. Each prophet was sent to his people. And either 2 things were said. His people or their brother. Their brother means that they're from the same ethnic group. Their people means they're from the same culture. Like here in the United States, we all come from the same, us, white, black, Latino, everybody. We're here in the same culture. We're the same peoples. We live in the same towns and everything. You guys get my point here in the West?
Right.
But then when they're from your same ethnic group, that's your brother. That's even more so. You guys get the point in that too? So either they was from their same ethnic group, which is a closer connection, or they was from the same peoples. And they had the same culture still in less. You get it?
Yeah.
So now as a mufassir, on this 6th point, we have to look at our people and we can say, look, we ain't, like I mentioned the thing about the hair, like I mentioned the thing about the pants. I'm talking about stuff that we do. You get the point? That's important for us to understand now in context of our last 30 years. And the 7th stage for the mufassir is, what are the consequences of that? Okay? What are the consequences? What are we seeing as the harm for not applying or doing this thing incorrectly? And what are the benefits that we're reaping from applying it and doing it right? Does that make sense, everybody?
Right.
This is the job of a mufassir. So you understand, and I mentioned that so that because you brought it up back there, so that you know what I'm supposed to be doing as we go through this. Why I'm saying this, because some people might say, well, why you say this? Why you say? Well, this is because this is my job when you give tafsir. Not just give the words, but express it in a way that is meaningful to the people you're dealing with. Does that make sense? And everybody's going to find a different way to do that with their people. There's a thing in Islam called jurisdiction. Okay? We have it in English too. A judge in Florida can't rule over a parking ticket in North Carolina. I don't care if he's a chief justice in Florida. You get my point? My point with this is that we have to be mature about when we listen. We learn from scholars from all over the world. We do. But we cannot think that our rulings here in the United States, or in the West I should say, will mirror the rulings in Saudi Arabia, Yemen, or any other place where there has been Islam or there is an Islamic or pseudo-Islamic society. You guys understand that? And we can't play games. When we want to, we're going to say we're going to follow that. And when we don't want to, we're not. I always bring the thing up about when brothers say, oh, we're going to do what everybody says in Saudi. Now, of course, we love to go to Mecca and Medina, and those are our shuyukh, to some degree. However, there's a rule in there that women can't drive, right? Are you going to follow that rule? No, you're not. And we don't. Why? Because you understand clearly it's not applicable in our society. Likewise, there are other rules and things that they may have in their society that are good and righteous in that particular world, but don't fit in this society. And those things are going to be determined by your knowledgeable people. So if we can get the nigger out the head, because you can't see your people as being scholars, because you can't see yourself as being a scholar, then you'll begin to respect that there are scholars here in the West who understand our cultural problems and have understood the Sharia to the point that can give solutions that will help us. But we still have some of this crabs in a barrel mentality. So we keep ripping ourselves down on this white man in the head mentality, this white Jesus. So it has to be someone else. It can't be you, because you brown from the boogie down. You get my point?
Yeah.
And we have to be unafraid to address these things and call it what it is, and not be upset when some of our brothers say, oh, I'm not going to be involved with that black thing. No, it's okay when we say Viva Philistine. Go Philistine, go Syria. But whenever I say go brother, I will tell you being racist. No, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. If we can be pro-Philistine, we can be pro-black. Not that we're being ethnic, like racist, but because each people have different needs. Okay? Not one is better than the other one except in taqwa. But we have to stop being browbeat with this type of thing and making like there's this big elephant in the room. We are ignoring it. Every one of us have different needs as a culture. And the people in the West have a double culture. We have a culture as joint Muslims in general, and then we have culture of those people who are they call forced immigrants. Negroes in the United States and Canada are considered forced immigrants. We're the only people who are forced immigrants. Everybody else came here on their own. And so all of us have different approach and entrance into Islam, and sometimes we have to approach it Sharia-wise differently. Does that make sense?
Yeah. A lot of sense.
Sometimes that's going to mean our solutions are going to be the same as Westerners. And sometimes it means that we're going to have to use a fine-tooth comb and a surgical scalpel to deal with the issues for each individual people. Does that make sense? Capiche?
Gosh.
Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه فقال يا قوم اعبدوا الله ما لكم من إله غيره إني أخاف عليكم عذاب يوم عظيم. We already said, I sent down Nuh, begins with Nuh, first prophet and messenger. Not first prophet, but the first prophet and messenger. To his people, ila qawmihi, his people in general. Remember, up until that time, the people were upon Tawheed, one ummah, right? Then they started to make shirk. And he said, oh my people, worship Allah. What are we learning? From the very beginning, the message has been to worship Allah alone. You don't have a God besides him. I am afraid for you that there will be a punishment on a serious day. قال الملأ من قومه إنا لنراك في ضلال مبين. The leaders amongst his people, Mala'u, the people, the movers and the shakers, from amongst his people said, we only see that you're straight, you're off it. So, Dalalin Mubin, you clearly off it. You done lost your mind. Okay? Dalalun Mubin means that you are off it. You're a little dull. The word dal in English comes from the Arabic word dalala. Dal. Same is one of those words, again, that has been anglicized from the Arabic. قال يا قوم ليس بي ضلالة ولكني رسول من رب العالمين. Look at the dignity. He didn't say, nah, you off it. He didn't respond like that. He said, oh my people, I'm not off it. I'm not off. However, I am a messenger from the Lord of everything. He responded in a dignified way. It teaches us a lesson. Because some of us would have cursed him out. أبلغكم رسالات ربي وأنصح لكم وأعلم من الله ما لا تعلمون. I am making it arrive for you. I am giving you, clarifying for you, making it clear. Uballigh means it arrived and it was ripe. Okay? That's what balagha means, to be ripe. So I'm delivering this to the English tongue, can't give it. Not only did I deliver it, I can say to you, Ballighi, give my salams to your husband. Balligh lahu salami. Balligh. You get that? Make him, yes, my salams will reach him. That's what you get when you say somebody, give so-and-so my son. Balligh lahu salami. That's how you say that. Uballighukum risalata. I'm delivering to you the message of my Lord. Wa ansahu lakum, and I'll give you so, and I'm being sincere with you. Nasiha does not mean a good advice. There's another problem. I said that the hadith lead people astray, except for Ahl al-Hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, Adinu,
Nasiha.
Adinu,
Nasiha.
and people said that means they've translated this, deen is good advice, right? Everybody seen that?
Yeah, they translate.
That's wrong. And it's wrong. You could just remember the context. Nasiha means sincerity. But let's go through it with that meaning, good advice, and let's show you how it doesn't work. They said what? Liman ya Rasulullah. To who, O Messenger of Allah? Lillah. Who you giving Allah good advice? Wali Rasuli. You gonna give his messenger good advice? Wali Kitabihi. You gonna give his book good advice? You guys get my point yet?
Nah, I got you.
It's to be sincere. And sincerity shows up differently depending on the one you're dealing with. Sincerity to Allah is to worship Him and not to make shirk. Sincerity to His Prophet is to follow His orders and to give your allegiance to following the Prophet ﷺ. Sincerity for His book is to read it and not let 60 days go without you finishing it, and to apply it and to study it the way it should be studied. Sincerity to the leaders of the Muslims and the regular people is to give them good advice, to give them honest advice. You guys get that?
Yeah, yes.
So again, we have to stop taking fish, and running with it. We have to start becoming intellectuals that we claim that the West has made us, and using our minds. And I am being sincere with you. وَأَعْلَمُ مِنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And I know things from Allah that you don't know. He is a prophet. أَوَعَجِبْتُمُ أَنْ جَاءَكُمْ ذِكْرٌ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ عَلَى رَجُلٍ مِّنكُمْ لِيُنذِرَكُمْ وَلِتَتَّقُوا وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. أَوَعَجِبْتُمْ. Are y'all amazed that there's come to you a reminder from your Lord on the tongue of a man from amongst you? That somebody, one of you, and this is what we did, I was just talking about this earlier, that sometimes we can't see ourselves. Oh, you can't know nothing. Why? Because I can't see me knowing nothing, so I definitely can't see you. I'm better than you. You can't be better than me. As though that knowledge, I'm making someone being better. It doesn't mean that. You just may know something that you don't know. So this is the same problem they all had, didn't it?
Yeah.
That it's just a regular man from amongst you coming with you. You amazed? You got a problem with that? In order to warn you and to tell you to have taqwa, so that perhaps that you can be shown mercy, turhamun. Look at the balagha. It's saying that you will be shown mercy, and from the sunnah that you only get into Jannah if you're shown the mercy of Allah. So it's indicative that if you do this and you have taqwa, Allah will show you mercy and enter you into Jannah. Because whenever Allah says la'allakum wa la'allahum, perhaps they wait, Allah is too generous to make you think maybe He will do it. because he is Kareem. فكذبوه فأنجيناه والذين معه في الفلك وأغرقنا الذين كذبوا بآياتنا إنهم كانوا قوما عمين. So then I saved him, Nuh, and those that were with him in the fulk. The fulk is the ship. And I drowned all those who disbelieved or called my signs a lie. They were people who were blind. That's one story. وَإِلَىٰ عَادٍ أَخَاهُمْ هُودًا. Note what he says here. And to the Ad, he sent their brother, Hud. So he was from the same ethnic group as them. Nuh went to all the people of his time, right? And they were one people, right? That's why it says qawmihi, ila qawmi, to his people. Whereas Ad is a particular ethnic group. The Ad people were giants. Okay? They were physical giants. The Ad people were the most powerful people on the planet. And there hasn't been a more physically powerful people besides the Ad. So Allah sent one who was like them, another giant. Hud. قال يا قوم اعبدوا الله ما لكم من إله غيره. Same message. O my people, worship Allah. You do not have a God other than Him. أفلا تتقون. Won't you then have taqwa? Because the Ad was so strong, to show their strength, they would take a tree. One of them could take a tree and rip it out the ground with his hand. Can all of us in here together do that? Nah. This is how powerful and mighty they were. They would build their castles on top of mountains and not even live in it. They had agriculture. They had waterworks, you know? They had manpower. And they had authority. قال الملأ الذين كفروا من قومه إنا لنراك في سفاهة وإنا لنظنك من الكاذبين. The leaders amongst his people, amongst those people who disbelieved. Shukran, help me sometimes, I lose it. The leaders amongst the people who disbelieved, what do we learn? That some of the people believed. Okay? Pay attention to the subtleties. From amongst his people, they said, we only see that you are a fool. And we think that you lying. What do they think that he's lying? He told them, look, we're going to be equal with everybody else. They said, you must be crazy. You fool. We're going to be equal? We're giants. We're going to be equal with the rest of these people? If we come into this deen you're talking about? We have equal rights? Nah, my word is law. I don't got to be equal with nobody. You get the point? Yeah. And we think you lying. We think you have ulterior motives. You get it? You saying this religious stuff, but we think you got another reason why you really want to be in charge. That's what they're calling him a liar. قال يا قوم ليس بي سفاهة ولكني رسول من رب العالمين. Look at the dignity again. He says, my people, I'm not lying. I'm not a fool. I'm not stupid. You know? However, I am a messenger from the Lord of everything. أبلغكم رسالات ربي وأنا لكم ناصح أمين. Same thing, different language. I am delivering the message of my Lord to you. And I am for you an honest, see, he says, Amin Nasihun, an honest advisor. Why did he say honest? Because they called him a liar. You see the subtleties? Nasih, now I'm giving you sincerity here, and I'm being honest with you. I ain't lying. I ain't got no ulterior motives. أَوَعَجِبْتُمْ أن جاءكم ذكر من ربكم على رجل منكم لينذركم. Are you amazed? Does it amaze you that a man has come to you from amongst yourself to remind you with a reminder from your Lord? You amazed that it's just one of you guys coming in order to warn you? واذكروا إذ جعلكم خلفاء من بعد قوم نوح وزادكم في الخلق بسطة فاذكروا آلاء الله لعلكم تفلحون. He says, and remember, don't forget that Allah made your inheritors after the people of Nuh. So they knew about what happened to Nuh. Because why? They had to. Everybody came from Nuh. Right? The Ad were the first people to go back to idol worship after the flood. Okay? So Huda said, yo, remember what the Lord did to the people of Nuh when he did what y'all doing? They went back to idols. And وَزَادَكُمْ فِي الْخَلْقِ بَسْطًا, and he made y'all bigger than everybody. He's the one that increased your bodies because they were all from one people, Nuh's people. فَاذْكُرُوا آلَاءَ اللَّهِ. So remember the favors of your Lord upon you, so that perhaps that you can be shown إِفْلَاحٍ قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, so that perhaps you can be successful, right? You see, this is another term that we've been watching all throughout the Quran. Al-falah. Every day. Hayya ala al-falah. Come to the success.
But the two doesn't mean be made successful.
Yes, so that you can be made successful. So you've been given success. قالوا أجئتنا لنعبد الله وحده ونذر ما كان يعبد آباؤنا فاتنا بما تعدنا إن كنت من الصادقين. Remember who's talking now. They said, have you come to tell us that we got to worship only Allah? Just Allah? We can't worship Jesus. We can't worship Buddha. We can't do Zen. Come on, only Allah? Everybody got to follow just one God? Right? And we got to leave off what our fathers was doing? What you trying to say my grandmother's going to hell? Ain't that what they say? Yes. You talking about Grandma Williams? They get mad at you, right? And all the stuff she did for you? And we're going to leave what our people were doing. This is the continuous argument. And I want to make point that we're still making that argument. We Muslims, about the things that we refuse to stop doing. Okay? Let's not look at what the kafir is doing. Look what we are refusing to stop doing in the deen, or for the deen and in the deen. Because we've been doing this for a minute. So they say, Fatina bima ta'iduna. Somebody's going to punish us? Bring it. Who going to punish us? Bring the punishment you said. Let's see that happen. You know, because who could do something to them? So they're arrogant. They got big. Can't do nothing. We are invincible. Remember that mentality? It's one of the reasons why the people are khasirun, right? La fi khusr. Because they think their might is going to make them invincible, untouchable. Or they think their wealth is making them invincible. You see the consistency of the message, everybody? He said, Even the baby understands. So bring us what you threatened us with if you telling the truth. If you got something, go ahead. Let's see it. قال قد وقع عليكم من ربكم رجس وغضب أتجادلونني في أسماء سميتموها أنتم وآباؤكم ما نزل الله بها من سلطان فانتظروا إني معكم من المنتظرين. So he said, okay, because of your statement, what has happened now between me and you between you and your Lord is animosity, anger. You've now incurred the anger, and you're getting the curse of your Lord upon you. You gonna argue with me regarding some words, some names, some things that you and your fathers named it? You named this thing whatever you named it. And you know you named this thing that. You came up with this. We know the history of these false practices, right? You said we gotta jump over the broom. You know, and all this other stuff that we come up with. Because we saw a movie that a Jew made. And we're going to follow that. And then we're going to blame it on our brother Africans. And they looking at us now, we sweep with the broom. So anyway, Allah didn't send any sultan, any authority for those things. So just wait. I'm waiting with you. We'll see what's going to happen. We're all going to wait. There's another point here. Hood threatened them. So y'all, what y'all want to do? Y'all want to fight? That's what Hood said. What y'all think y'all bad? Fight me then. I'll fight all of y'all. That's what Hood said. Do something. That's what he told them. Me against all of y'all. Don't even wait. So Hood is threatening their authority. You know, their strength. Y'all bad? Well, do something to me. That's a bad prophet, right? He's angry, right? Yeah. He got angry for Allah's sake.
He was being cool.
It was appropriate. It was appropriate for those people
First he was
because they
cool.
thought they was tough.
You're right.
Okay? So he said, okay, well, let's do this then. فَأَنْجَيْنَاهُ وَالَّذِينَ مَعَهُ بِرَحْمَةٍ مِنَّا وَقَطَعْنَا دَابِرَ الَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا وَمَا كَانُوا مُؤْمِنِينَ. I think this happened on Yom Arba, on a Wednesday. So on a Thursday, their faces turned yellow. And on the Friday, I think their faces turned green and red. Turned on Saturday. On Sunday, a wind came and picked them up, these big old giants, and dropped them on their heads and popped their heads off. Picked them up, turned them upside down, smashed them off, just knocked their heads off. The wind went around Hood and the people that was with Hood and the cattle he hid in a barn. And so with the cattle, they didn't even get hurt. Wind went around them. And so Allah saved him and those that were with Hood with the mercy of Allah. And we cut off qata'na dabiru, the ends of those people who disbelieved, who denied the ayat of Allah, and they were not believers. See, qata'na, not cut it off, lopped off their ends, calling their heads their ends. Right? That's subtlety right there. Okay?
Finish them off.
He finished them off. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. Astaghfirullah. Shukran jazeelan. Barakallah feekum. Dhakartani. Also, قَطَعْنَا دَابِرِ الَّذِينَ كَذِّبُوا. What did I say? I said the Ad were the most powerful people ever, right? Allah totally wiped them out. That's what this means. دَابِرِ الَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا. Here in this, the description here also means he totally wiped them out. What does that mean? He left no trace of them. He destroyed everything they had. No archaeological findings, no nothing can be found of the people of Hood. Why? To show these were the biggest, the baddest, and now they are nothing. You get the point? He made them disappear. And he left message that they existed in the Quran and the Sunnah. You guys get the point? So the biggest and the baddest, you don't see, Hal tara min baqiya? You see any sign of them? That's the ayah that you're referring to.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. Keep them honest.
They found the traces.
No traces of them.
I mean, they claim.
They're claiming that they can see from satellite. They see the towers of Ad. Sadaqallah wa kadhibu ha'ulai. Okay, they're lying. They see some traces, but it ain't Ad. Wa sadaqallah. Wiped them completely out and left no trace of them. Okay? Now, we see that the Thamud, the people of Thamud also made big buildings. Okay? And we see traces of them. Maybe they get them mixed up. Allah knows best. وَإِلَى ثَمُودَ أَخَاهُمْ صَالِحًا Well, to the people of Thamud, he sent their brother Salih. قال يا قوم اعبدوا الله ما لكم من إله غيره. He said, "O my people, worship Allah. You do not have any gods besides Him. قد جاءتكم بينة من ربكم هذه ناقة الله لكم آية فذروها تأكل في أرض الله ولا تمسوها بسوء فيأخذكم عذاب أليم." So Allah says, قد جاءتكم بينة من ربكم. What's He said? He brought you clear proof from your Lord. What's the clear proof? The Thamud, first the word Thamada is the word Thamud. Thamada, وَحَسْبُ ثَمَدٍ أَنْ يَرْشَهَا. The Arabs say, it's enough for a little bit of water to wet your whistle. Meaning drink enough water to wet your throat. It's not going to quench your thirst, but it's enough to get the dirt out your mouth. So they're called Thamud because enough water, just enough water to quench your thirst, not your thirst, but to wet your whistle and get the dryness out your throat. That's very important to understand that they're called Thamud, dealing with water, right? A little bit of water. These people were master technicians. They could cut into the mountains, and we see in the area in Jordan now that they have those mountains, they cut into them and have these big houses inside of them. Not a cave, but a straight up house. Decorations, rooms, and everything. No, they never let you take pictures of the inside. Okay? So you can see how detailed these people were. Okay, you notice that, right? Same thing with the Egyptian Museum. They never let you take pictures on the inside. Because of they don't want you to know what the people looked like. It's going to be a world changer. Okay? So, they went in there and they said that they started cutting into mountains and making all this nice design and everything. So, Salih came to them and said, "Look, I am a prophet from Allah," right? He's telling them. And they said, "Listen, bring us a sign." "Okay, you name the sign then. You tell me and I'll do whatever Allah will give you whatever sign you want." They said, "Since we can cut into the mountains and make beautiful houses, right? Why don't you cut into the mountain and make us a beautiful she-camel, okay? And make her huge." And they described her in detail. And make her pregnant too. And make her come to life. So he cut into the mountain and designed and drew out of the mountain a she-camel. And he made dua. And Allah made it come to life. Now Allah says, tell him he got conditions now. Now you ask for it, and she's so big, and she's pregnant. Now you got to share water with her. Get it? And she drinks. Any camel drinks a lot of water. But this big camel you got, she needs a day's worth of water for herself. So 1 day of water for her, the next day is for you. Get it? Thamud. You got just enough water for you. You got just enough water. Guys get the point? So he said, this is the Naqatullah. This is Allah's she-camel. Like we say, this is the book of Allah, the house of Allah, the she-camel of Allah. Anything tied to Allah has greatness. Okay? And it's sacred. So he says, don't touch her. فَذَرُوهَا تَأْكُلْ. Like 1 day she's going to eat, and 1 day she's going to drink. Okay? So the day that she's eating, you get the drink. And the day that she's drinking, you do whatever you're going to do. But you ain't getting no water that day. Okay? And you can't store no water. You got to take the water the day you need it. You guys get my point? Yeah. So leave her to eat in the earth. And don't touch her with any type of evil intentions. Or if you do, Allah's going to take you and punish you with a painful punishment. وَاذْكُرُوا إِذْ جَعَلَكُمْ خُلَفَاءَ مِنْ بَعْدِ عَادٍ وَبَوَّأَكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ تَتَّخِذُونَ مِنْ سُهُولِهَا قُصُورًا وتنحتون الجبال بيوتا فاذكروا آلاء الله ولا تعثوا في الأرض مفسدين. He said, and remember, when Allah made you guys inherit the earth after the Ad, because the Ad came and then the Thamud came. So you remember reminding them of their own history. And He gave you all strength and He gave you position in the earth. تَتَّخِذُونَ مِن سُهُولِهَا قُصُورًا. You taking the mountains as houses. And you cutting into the mountains, making buyuta and places to live. So remember the favors that Allah has given you. And don't be disobedient in the land, causing corruption. قال الملأ الذين استكبروا من قومه للذين استضعفوا لمن آمن منهم وتعلمون أن صالحا مرسل من ربه. Now listen, what was the problem they had? The same problem that Ad had. Saleh said everybody got to be treated equal. Come to this deen and everybody's going to be treated equal. Don't we get the message now when we get Surah Al-Lahab? What was the problem that Abu Lahab had with his nephew? That he loved, right? That he freed his slave girl when his nephew was born. When he rushed to feed him, he rushed to marry his sons to his daughters, right? That he said that we got to treat each other equal. I ain't equal with them. Ana khayrun minhu. Isn't that the problem Shaitan had? So they had the same problem. Yo, you trying to say we're going to be equal with the poor people? To the weaker people? So Allah shows us this. قَالَ الْمَلَأُ, the leaders and shakers from amongst the people who are istikbaran, istakbaru, that got arrogant, who felt they were entitled. They were over entitled. They thought they were bigger than what they were. They thought they had a right? From amongst His people, who are they speaking to? لِلَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا. They're talking to the people who were weak, who were da'if in the land. From amongst the ones who had believed in Salih. He said, they went to them and said, yo, أَتَعْلَمُونَ أَنَّ صَالِحًا مُرْسَلٌ مِّن رَبِّهِ. Are you all saying, see Allah says, أَتَعْلَمُونَ, meaning أَتُؤْمِنُونَ. Do you all are believing? But He says, do you all have knowledge that Salih is saying that he's a messenger from his Lord? قَالُوا إِنَّا بِمَا أُرْسِلَ بِهِ مُؤْمِنُونَ. They said, we are, with regards to what he was sent with, believers. Get it? So, shows that to have faith, you have to have what? Knowledge. Okay? So they said, yo, yeah, we believe in what Salih said about people being equal. So you see the arrogant one saying, yo, y'all actually think that we're going to be equal? Y'all believe in that? You get the point? You believe in that part of the message that I'm gonna be equal with you? Right? What did they respond? قَالَ الَّذِينَ اسْتَكْبَرُوا إِنَّا بِالَّذِي آمَنْتُمْ بِهِ كَافِرُونَ. They went into a rage. They said, what? The arrogant one said to the people who was weak, yo, we with regards to the things that you guys believe in, we are kafirs. We're never gonna accept that. You get it? What did they do? After that point, فَعَقَرُوا النَّاقَةَ وَعَتَوْا عَنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّهِمْ وَقَالُوا يَا صَالِحُ ائْتِنَا بِمَا تَعِدُنَا إِن كُنْتَ مِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. So right after that, when they found out that people were starting to believe that, yo, these people are starting to listen to that. They're starting to think that we equal and that we got to be treated the same. Yo, we ain't never going to accept that. So they went out immediately and they got this one. And Allah puts the fi'l on all of them, even though only Qudar is the one who did it. From the tense of Qudar, they talking. But Qudar is his name. This low-life person went out there on their behest and he cut the hamstring. The what is this thing? Achilles hand tendon of the animal. Cut it so she can't run. Okay? For them. Then hamstrung her, cut her, and killed her. Slaughtered her and started eating her. She was screaming, calling for her calf. Okay, and they saying it was making trembles in the land when they killed her. But you see, Allah puts the fi'l on all of them. They're all accessories to the murder. You get the point? Why? Because it was all their intention to have it done. Okay? They all wanted it done. So Allah punished all of them. This is the Sharia. So they went out there and they slaughtered them. They started causing corruption and they broke the orders of their Lord. And then they said to Salih, bring it on. I'tina bima ta'iduna in kunta min al-mursaleen. Bring it on. Bring the punishment that you claim you're going to give us. Okay? If you're really a prophet and messenger. فَأَخَذَتْهُمُ الرَّجْفَةُ فَأَصْبَحُوا فِي دَارِهِمْ جَاثِمِينَ. So it took them with the convulsions. And they woke up and they didn't wake up. In the morning they was dead in their homes. Laid out. فَتَوَلَّى عَنْهُمْ وَقَالَ يَا قَوْمِ لَقَدْ أَبْلَغْتُكُمْ رِسَالَةَ رَبِّي وَنَصَحْتُ لَكُمْ وَلَكِنْ لَا تُحِبُّونَ النَّاصِحِينَ. So he turned away from them and he said, "O my people, I have delivered to you the message of my Lord." Listen, that's profound. Because that's the end of the message. Either you do this or this happens. He said, "Oh my people, they're dead. I have delivered the message of my Lord. And I gave you good advice. Sincere advice. However, it's clear, y'all don't like good advice." Very, very influential. Now listen to this. وَلُوطًا إِذْ قَالَ لِقَوْمِهِ أَتَأْتُونَ الْفَاحِشَةَ مَا سَبَقَكُمْ بِهَا مِنْ أَحَدٍ مِنَ الْعَالَمِينَ. He doesn't claim that Lut is to his brothers. Because remember, Lut moved there. Okay? Lut moved to Sodom and Gomorrah. He was with Ibrahim. Alright? And then he moved there. So it's not Akhahum Lut. He's not their brother. He's not from their same ethnic background. But he's one of the people, like we all same people, because we all live in the same city, same country, have the same culture, we're talking the same language, wear the same style clothes, and understand the same things. So we peoples. But we are in the same ethnic group, some of us. Okay? So there's two things. There's this joint, it's like geometry. We're crossing, like that. They're crossing circles. Does that make sense? So Allah's showing us those people who they were brothers of the same ethnic group, and those who are the same people of, the same point is the same. They knew each other and they understood each other's ways. And they were the best ones to give each other advice. So when Lut was sent to his people, he said, "Are you people going, doing some obscenity, some immoral act nobody has ever done in the whole world? إنكم لتأتون الرجال شهوة من دون النساء بل أنتم قوم مسرفون." He says, you all are going to men with your desires and leaving women? You people are dysfunctional. Listen to the word, musrifun. Remember we said this earlier and I told you that the term is clearly dysfunctional. You wasting the woman away, you causing this corruption. You're destroying the family. It's dysfunctional. You ain't doing what you're supposed to do. وَمَا كَانَ جَوَابَ قَوْمِهِ إِلَّا أَن قَالُوا. And the people didn't respond to him in any other way except that they said, أَخْرِجُوهُم مِّن قَرْيَتِكُمْ. Kick them out of the city. Get them out of here. Let them move someplace else. إِنَّهُمْ أُنَاسٌ يَتَطَهَّرُونَ. They're being sarcastic. Oh, these guys, they think they're pure. إِنَّهُمْ أُنَاسٌ يَتَطَهَّرُونَ. They want to be pure. Like they punks. Like they less than men because they want to be pure. فَأَنْجَيْنَاهُ وَأَهْلَهُ إِلَّا امْرَأَتَهُ كَانَتْ مِنَ الْغَابِرِينَ. And we saved him and his family. That's the only ones that rode with him. Except his woman, his wife. كَانَتْ مِنَ الْغَابِرِينَ. She was amongst the people that was dusted off. And notice a lot of times when there's family problems, they call the woman imra'ah whenever there's an issue in the Quran, and not zawja. Okay? Zawj. Okay? Whenever there's an issue, imra'ah is used, his woman. Imra'atu fir'aun. Why? They wasn't on the same sheet. Okay? Or there's some issue in the family. Okay? Some imbalance. His the subtlety of the Quran. Right. So, and even when it talks about Ibrahim and his wife, right? She calls it Imra'a. Then it says Aslahna Zawj. Then they corrected his wife and used Zawj, changing the language when it corrected the issue.
What is it? Is it
Imra'a, his woman.
Ra?
His woman or his wife. It means the same thing, but the Arabic gives a different tone. Okay? So we saved him except his woman, his wife, and she was one of the ones dusted off. She's considered, Allah gives us example of this woman as being one of the worst wives ever. She gives an example, she strikes an example of what not to be. What did this woman do? Sorry?
She was friends with them.
That's not just the only, what was the problem?
She told him about the business.
Okay, this is what she did. The issue is she told people outside of his house what was going on in his house. The ulama specifically pointed out her major crime was she told people outside of her husband's house what her husband had going on in his house behind his back without his permission in a way she knew he didn't want it to be known. That was her problem. That was her major issue. So there's a lesson. Daraballahu mathalan. Allah makes her a mithal, a parable. Don't be like the wife of Lut. Don't go spreading your husband's personal business outside of the house and you know he don't like that. Or you don't know that he approves of it. Don't be befriending people he don't like. If you don't like them, you don't speak to them. And she did not support his da'wah. Okay? Oh, she wasn't a homosexual, not at all. She didn't even believe homosexuality was correct. But her mentality was, well, we're not going to do that. Let them do that. That's not her right to do that, to say that. You get the point? And that's why we want our women to know the example of why Lut's wife was told not to be like that. And why she was killed with those people. Does that make sense? وَأَمْطَرْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ مَطَرًا. And we poured down upon them a rain. فَانْظُرْ كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الْمُجْرِمِينَ. So look to see what was the end of those criminals. And now we're going to get to the last one, okay? What time is it?
8:15.
Okay, we have enough time. What time is Salah?
26.
Okay, we good. We got time. Let's do this. Alhamdulillah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإلى مديان أخاهم شعيبا. And to the Madian we sent their brother. You see, he goes back to being his brother again.
Yeah.
Now he's from their same people. And this Shu'aib, there's argument amongst the ulama. Is this the Shu'aib that Musa married to? No. Some people say no. We like to think that it is. We don't have any proof that he was, and we don't have any proof that he wasn't. So let's have husnul dhan. And Allah knows best. You get it?
Nah.
وَإِلَى مَدْيَانَ أَخَاهُمْ شُعَيْبًا. And to the Madian, we sent their brother Shu'aib. قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مَا لَكُمْ مِنْ إِلَٰهٍ غَيْرُهُ. And to, oh my people, worship Allah. You don't have a God other than Him. Same message. All the messengers that He mentioned, same message. Why is it important? Because most of the messengers He mentioned right now are Arab prophets. Okay? Shu'aib is Arab. Okay? So he's given the Salih was Arab. The Ad, it was Arab. Okay? So that's what's important about those particular ones that are named here is too. So he's calling people who are Arab, and they know these were their Arab ancestors. They all had these prophets and messengers. You get the point? That's the subtlety there. Oh my people, worship Allah. You don't have any other God besides Him. قَدْ جَاءَتْكُمْ بَيِّنَةٌ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. There's come to you clear proof from your Lord. فَأَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ وَالْمِيزَانَ وَلَا تَبْخَسُوا النَّاسَ أَشْيَاءَهُمْ وَلَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ بَعْدَ إِصْلَاحِهَا ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنتُم مُّؤْمِنِينَ. He says, أَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ. The people of Madian, they were highway robbers. It's up. They were up in the area where Tabuk is today. Tabuk, that area, they still call that area Mada'in al-Shu'aib. They still call it that area that. And they said that they would go on the land and they would rob people, take all their stuff, throw them out in the desert. So they was like, what do you call it? What do you stick at the car? What you call it? Carjacking.
Carjackers.
They were carjackers. Okay? They were home invaders. This is what they did. They were taxing people. Okay, these are the first people to causing people tax. Taxing them. When you pass by, give me that. Give me this. When they would sell stuff, they would cheat in the measures. Us 10 pounds. Don't weigh it. Give me my money. You get the point?
Yeah.
So they were doing all this type of crooked stuff. Mutafifun. Nickel and diamond people. Okay? And so he's saying, no, don't cause corruption. This is better for you if you become believers. ولا تقعدوا بكل صراط توعدون وتصدون عن سبيل الله من آمن به وتبغونها عوجا واذكروا إذ كنتم قليلا فكثركم وانظروا كيف كان عاقبة المفسدين. He says, and don't squat in the air, make it the same thing that I've been saying. I just went ahead with the interpretation. He says, don't sit on the road, robbing people, sticking people up, blocking the path of Allah, causing corruption in the land. You know, remember that when you was just a few people and Allah made y'all big. You know, remember, look at what happened to all the people that was criminals before you and they caused corruption. Look what happened to them. وَإِن كَانَ طَائِفَةٌ مِّنكُمْ آمَنُوا بِالَّذِي أُرْسِلْتُ بِهِ وطائفة لم يؤمنوا فاصبروا حتى يحكم الله بيننا وهو خير الحاكمين. He says, and if there's a group of people from amongst you that believe in what I've been sent with, and another group that don't believe, then be patient. Let Allah judge between us. And Allah is the best one to judge and decide what the situation should be. قال الملأ الذين استكبروا من قومه لنخرجنك يا شعيب والذين آمنوا معك من قريتنا أو لتعدن في ملتنا. He said, yo, the people who were arrogant amongst the leaders from amongst the arrogant people said, yo, we're going to kick you out, Shu'aib, and everybody that believes with you from our city. You ain't going to live here, okay? You ain't going to do the way we do it. You ain't going to take the benefits of the city. Okay? Or you're going to return back to our religion. قَالَ أَوَلَمْ كُنَّا كَارِهِينَ. Even if we hate it, you're going to force us to do it? قَدْ افترينا على الله كذبا إن عدنا في ملتكم بعد إذ نجانا الله منها. And he said, we would have really fabricated a lie against Allah if we return back to your religion after Allah has saved us from it. وما يكون لنا أن نعود فيها إلا أن يشاء الله ربنا وسع ربنا كل شيء علما على الله توكلنا ربنا افتح بيننا وبين قومنا بالحق وأنت خير الفاتحين. He said, look, I'm not afraid of you guys. And we're not going to come back to your religion, except we're only going to do what Allah wants us to do, our Lord. Wide and expansive is the power of Allah, and He has knowledge of everything. Only on Allah do we put our trust. They may do our Lord, open up, give us victory between us and these people. Give us with the truth, and you are the best one to make things plain. وقال الملأ الذين كفروا من قومه لئن اتبعتم شعيبا إنكم إذا لخاسرون. And the people, the leaders from amongst the people who disbelieved from Shuaib's people, they said, anybody who follows Shuaib, know for a fact you're going to lose. Alright, we're going to destroy you. You're going to be on the losing side. They're threatening them. فأخذتهم الرجفة فأصبحوا في دارهم جاثمين. So we took them by convulsions. In the morning, they was all laid out dead in their homes. الذين كذبوا شعيبا كأن لم يغنوا فيها. The people who disbelieved in Shu'aib, it was like they never was there. Like they never had any benefit, any ghina, any wealth. Okay? They were telling Shu'aib, look, put your money with us. Okay? Put your money with us, we'll make you some money. We'll make big money with you, you fool. You know? I said, nah, I'm good. الذين كذبوا شعيبا كانوا هم الخاسرون خاسرين. He said those people who disbelieved in Shuaib, they were the khasirin. And this is beautiful in the Quran because they threaten them. إِنَّكُمُ إِذًا لَخَاسِرِينَ لَخَاسِرُونَ. You, without doubt, you guys are going to be losers. And then Allah says, الَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا شُعَيْبًا كَانُوا هُمُ الْخَاسِرِينَ. They were the ones that were the losers. فَتَوَلَّى عَنْهُمْ وَقَالَ يَا قَوْمِ لَقَدْ أَبْلَغْتُكُمْ رِسَالَاتِ رَبِّي وَنَصَحْتُ لَكُمْ فَكَيْفَ آسَى عَلَى قَوْمٍ كَافِرِينَ. So then he turned away from them and he said, "Oh my people, I have delivered the message of my Lord to you, and I have been sincere in advising you. So how can I feel sad about people who disbelieve?" Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. This ends the stories. This ends the stories in this surah. What's the point in all these stories? The point in all these stories are a number of things. Number one, the message of all the prophets that we mentioned here was all the same. They were all sent to their people, either their own ethnic group or to their own people in general. They told them, worship Allah. First thing, they were sincere and honest with them, right? The people rejected them for whatever reasons they wanted to reject them. And the only ones that were surviving, the only ones that were saved were the ones ma'a nabiyyin, those that were with their prophet. Sallallahu wa salatu Allah alayhim jami'an. Everybody get that? I'm a little rushed because I don't want to mess up the time for everybody in this place, okay? And now, once we put that in context of what we're going through in the surah, as for what comes next, the most detailed story of Musa in the whole Quran. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.